There's something I've been wanting to get off my chest for a long time. I've been in solar consulting, residential solar consulting for years, for like almost a decade now. And you know, the thing that holds back, like solar is the largest growth industry worldwide, except for the United States of America. Now it is growing quite well here, but slower than anywhere else on Earth. So like Europe is 20 to 30% solar, Asia 20 to 30% solar, you know, New Zealand, I mean, you go down the list, the United States is only at 4. And it's not that the sun works differently here. It's not that the technology works differently here. You know, electricity is electricity everywhere in the world. Sunlight is sunlight everywhere in the world. The value proposition is pretty much the same everywhere. Why do Americans not adopt solar as at the same rate as the rest of the world? And this is the reason why, okay? This is the reason why. The United States of America does not have universal education. That is the reason why. Americans, let's face it, they're just too dumb. They're too dumb to get it. Like, it is amazing to me that I show somebody, I say, okay, you know, here's your electric bill. On average, right now today, it's $200, right? Okay? And if you take $200 and you multiply that by 12, okay, that's $2,400 a year. And then multiply that by, say, 25 years, and you're talking $60,000 without inflation. Okay, now you add inflation to that, even less than 5%, it's going to go to over $100,000. So now I show somebody a solar system that produces that same amount of electricity for, say, $40,000, and the government pays a third of that. So you're talking, say, around $30,000 for $60,000 worth of electricity without inflation, or $100,000 with inflation, right? So you tell me, which is the smaller number? 100,000 or 30? You'd be surprised how many Americans get that wrong. Like, I sit down and I talk with these people and I say, 100,000, 30,000, and they say, oh, I don't know, I got to think about that. You have to think about which number is the smaller number? Seriously? And what it is that they don't believe that solar panels produce electricity. Like, they know that electricity has value because they pay for it every month on their electric bill, right? So they know it has dollar value. But they don't believe that putting solar panels on the roof will reduce their electric bill. You know, like, they don't believe that solar panels produce electricity. Now, if we had good science education in this country, if we had universal education, this would not be a problem. You know, now here in the US, people do not believe in science for the most part. You know, I would say there's a good maybe third of the population that believes in science. And then the other 60-70%, they believe in superstition, religion, stuff they'll never see and can't ever prove, and corporate media. And if it's not on television, it's not real, right? Solar really isn't on television because, unlike utility monopolies and fossil fuel industries, which have very, very deep pockets to buy all the advertising they want, solar exists in a competitive marketplace of home improvement companies. And so there's not a whole lot of profit left over to buy airtime nor politicians, okay? Now the fossil fuel industry, they can buy all the politicians they want. You know, the utility monopolies, they can buy all the public service commissioners they want because they're a monopoly. They can charge whatever they want, which means they have as much money as they want. And with all that unlimited money, they can buy all the politicians they want, including the Public Service Commission that is supposed to be there to regulate them. Okay? So that's why you don't see solar on television, you know? But you do see a lot of, you know, ads for fossil fuel industries and utility companies. Like you see these guys, they're walking around in hard hats and safety glasses, and they're pointing over there at an oil pipeline, and then over here you see a bunch of oil tankers going through the Gulf of Mexico. Now let me ask you, are you in the market for an oil tanker or a pipeline by any chance? No, of course not. They're not trying to sell you anything. All those commercials is hush money to the network, so they don't discuss the science of climate change in any depth. I mean, they might mention it in passing here or there. Oh, and could this tornado be fueled by climate change? Well, I don't know. Some people say, right? And they just leave it up to that, and they don't go into anything about like the connection between greenhouse gases and temperature rise over geologic time or any of that. They don't do any of that, okay? And the reason why, and they don't tell you that for the first time in history, solar is now the cheapest source of electricity. They don't tell you that because of that hush money that they're getting from the Koch brothers and from the utility monopolies and the fossil fuel companies, right? That's the reason why it's not on TV. But for most Americans, if it's not on TV, it's not real. And the most ironic thing about that, of course, is that television is make-believe. It's a screen of pixels that can be changed to be any possible combination, infinite combination of pixels, to present to you any possible image you can imagine, including the Star Trek Enterprise flying through the galaxy, right? You know that never happened, right? It's not like there's somebody floating around in a spacesuit filming the Starship Enterprise as it, you know, floats past it through the galaxy. I mean, that's not actually happening, but you see it on TV, right? TV can show you anything and make it seem believable. But the thing is, if it's on TV, it's less real than your neighbor down the street who already has solar. You know? It's less real, it's less reliable than the fact that the Earth turns on its axis every 24 hours. So yeah, the sun goes down over the horizon, but it also comes up over the horizon. It's very dependable. It's very predictable. It's based on science. And that's why Americans don't like it.